Disneyland employees. What's the weirdest thing you've seen at work? Story 1. I saw Snow White. In character, curse out a mother in Puerto Rican Spanish, then switch back to English without missing a beat. The mom had pushed her kid in front of others, causing him to fall and get a bloody nose. She screamed at the kid in Snow White. Snow White consoled the boy, scolded the mom, and carried on. I've never seen a mother shrink so fast from a reprimand, all witnessed through the nose of my character costume. Story 2. Not me, but my friend's dad worked at Disney World when I was a kid and took him backstage. He doesn't remember much except seeing Aladdin and Peter Pan kissing. Apparently, it was a life-changing moment for him. Story 3. I worked at a Magic Kingdom restaurant. A family abandoned their adult son, who used a wheelchair and had health complications, in the middle of our walkway while they went on rides. He was there for about 3 hours. Story 4. High schoolers can get wild on grad night. A couple started engaging in oral sex on Pirates of the Caribbean, unaware a ride attendant was watching via security monitors. When the attendant announced over the speakers, "Put it back in your pants," they were so shocked they nearly fell out of the boat. Story 5. While sitting near where Mickey and Minnie get ready, some guys started insulting Minnie. The guy playing Mickey, in perfect Mickey voice, said, "If you look at my girlfriend again, I'll beat you up." Story 6. I stopped to tell a family where the bathroom was. As I explained, the older kid doubled over, with brown liquid running down his leg and vomit spewing simultaneously. I tried calling for help but was gagging too hard. The mom screamed at me to get help. Finally, someone more experienced took over and I left. Story 7. Guests often harass characters with inappropriate intentions. While working with Ariel, I did the photo countdown to give people time to pose. A teen tried to rip off one of Ariel's seashells during the countdown. I opened his camera and exposed the film so the photo wouldn't develop or spread. I later learned we were supposed to take it to the Kodak shop to remove the film, but I'd heard rumors about ruining film, and no one trains you on that, so I just did it. The little creep deserved it. Story 8. At Cinderella's castle kitchen, a family of 4 was dining. Halfway through, the husband stood, tapped his glass, and announced that his wife of 15 years had been cheating for over a year. The room froze in shock. He gestured for his kids to pay the waitress and left his crying wife at the table. Story 9. A park-wide announcement seeking a specific person is a big deal. Those announcements require a chain of approval, as Disney avoids breaking the magical illusion. Story 10. A wealthy guest visited Club 33, the semi-secret restaurant in New Orleans Square, for the first time. He demanded a private room and Disney princesses for entertainment and asked if any waitresses were interested. We told him we couldn't accommodate that. Story 11. At the ticket booth, a woman requested a Disneyland ticket and placed a box on the counter while searching for her wallet. I realized it was her child's ashes with a photo and dates on it. I don't know how she got it past security. I had to hold her at my window until security arrived. It broke my heart. People often scatter ashes on rides, and they're vacuumed up at night. Story 12. A dive instructor told me that before taking a job as an aquatic goofy on a Disney cruise, hanging out by the pool, I had to agree that if I started drowning, They pull me backstage before lifeguards remove my costume to avoid upsetting kids. CPR wouldn't happen on site. Story 13. A friend who worked there learned there's a niche adult audience for Disney-related content where people pleasure themselves on rides and post it online. It's gross, but apparently popular. Story 14. As a Disney World College Program cast member, the weirdest things were unseen by guests. A man was found dead in his hotel room, likely by suicide. Windows and the entrance were immediately covered with "Pardon Our Dust" renovation boards, and costume characters held an impromptu meet and greet to distract from police processing the scene. Another time, a venomous snake was found in the hotel lobby's elaborate waterfall. Dressed as janitors, animal control captured it in 15 minutes while guests were distracted by fire jugglers. Story 15. I worked the night shift at Disney's Animal Kingdom, testing the safari ride at 3 a.m. near the Hippo River. Struggling with equipment, I heard a hippo's loud noise from the dark about 2 meters away. I realized if I fell in, I'd likely be killed instantly, and no one would find me until morning when they saw my truck. I was much more careful there afterward. Story 16. As Tinker Bell 3 years ago, countless people asked what was under my dress or got too handsy. I'd shame them loudly in front of photographers, assistants, or their family, saying, "You want to know what's under my dress? Pixie dust, of course." Or, "This man's a pirate trying to steal the pixie dust under my dress." They'd slink away, embarrassed creeps. Story 17. On the Dumbo ride, drunk guests unbuckled their baby from the safety belt and held them up like Simba, 18 feet in the air, for their drunk friends to photograph. We stopped the ride emergently. They were escorted out, and I heard they were arrested outside the park gates. It was terrifying to witness. Story 18. A woman exited my ride and noticed wet stuff falling from the sky. I was near the parking lot, helping with strollers. She complained about the wet stuff and demanded I tell my boss to turn it off. I laughed, thinking she was joking, which angered her. She said, "Don't you know this ruins people's vacations?" I explained it was just Florida summer storms and would pass. She asked, "What about the bubble?" Confused, I clarified, and she thought Disney was under a giant bubble controlling the weather, like in Star Trek. I told her it was the real sky. She stormed off, insisting something be done. It was one of the dumbest conversations I had there. Story 19. On the third shift at a Disney Vacation Club hotel, I delivered express checkout statements at 3 a.m. One night, turning a corner, I came face to face with an adult Florida panther. I backed away fast, locked myself behind the nearest door, and waited before resuming rounds. Story 20. People defecated in the mini-golf course holes. Story 21. As a former Disney World photographer working closely with characters, we had creepy regulars, a couple who came almost daily, overly emotional with cast members, fixating on specific performers by name. No one knows how they got that info. We think they stalked them. Some saw it as harmless, but I found it creepy. They expected special treatment for being regulars. I only met them twice, but they found me on Facebook using just my name tag.